Still in it, running back for the Alouettes. They're inside the Winnipeg 20. Down by 3. Time running out. Oh, touchdown! Tyson Philpott has the catch that has put Montreal ahead in the Grey Cup with 11 seconds to go. What drama in Hamilton.
Yes, hello folks. Welcome to another episode of KSN 91. Yes, if you are familiar with that audio, that is the Grey Cup from 2 years ago. Basically the highlight of the game, right? The biggest highlight of the game, where Montreal Alouettes took the lead with very little time left. Yeah, so that was Rod Smith on the call. Yeah, he's like the voice of TSN, and he's like the Chris Fowler of the CFL. He's really good. And, yep, that is the biggest sporting event this weekend for me. And I'm already wearing my other Montreal Alouettes shirt. This is the tight shirt. It's weird because I ordered a large, right? But it came in as a medium. It's kind of strange, but oh well. But I'll be wearing the other shirt tomorrow, Grey Cup Sunday. So I apologize that this episode is late once again, but I'll try not to make this too long. The plan was for me to record this before I went to sleep, but I was getting tired, so instead I'm recording this in the morning, and I actually just woke up. So yeah, it's not easy sometimes, but it is what it is. Hopefully next week, it'll be back to normal. So, yeah, a lot of football. This is it. This is pretty much all I watch is football during this time of the year. I don't really watch basketball or hockey during this time of the year. It's usually football. Because we're now in, I can't believe it, we're already in mid-November, and this is usually where college football and the National Football League gets interesting, you know? So, yeah, football junkie season. All right. So, let's preview, what is it, week 12? Week 12 of the NFL. So, I gotta get my phone real quick. All right. Man, I've been getting a lot of ESPN notifications. So, SEC Nation is at the Texas Georgia game. That game is on ABC prime time. Um, but I thought, at first I thought College Game Day would be at that show, and maybe SEC Nation would be at the Oklahoma Alabama game. That's in the afternoon. But no, game day is actually at the Notre Dame Pittsburgh game, believe it or not. And that game is on ABC. That is the early ABC game. And I heard that game day hasn't hosted in Pittsburgh in what, 20 years? What took them so long to come back there? I guess that just shows you Pittsburgh football is not that great until this year. Kind of sucks that they finally returned, but after Lee Corso retired. Yeah. So game day, that's where game day's at, Notre Dame and Pittsburgh. So does that mean Chris Fowler and Kirk Herbstreit, are they going to be the announcers for that game, or I don't think so. I'm pretty sure they're going to call the Texas Georgia game. All right. I usually listen to the Paul Feinbaum show before the big games come on here. Let's see if there's any breaking news before I start making my predictions. I'm getting a lot of Pete Thamel news. Pete Thamel's basically the Adam Schefter, the Jeff Passan of college football. I forgot to mention in the last episode, the big news out of the NFL is Brian Dable got fired as the New York Giants head coach. So some people are saying that maybe Bill Belichick will become the new Giants head coach. If that happens, that'll be kind of crazy. I heard that North Carolina has gotten better. They have 3 games left. They need to win 2 more games in order for them to get into a bowl game. So I hope that happens. I hope North Carolina gets into a bowl game. All right. Hey, we got the LSU Arkansas rivalry today. That's a day game. I bet you that game would have been at night if LSU, had a better record. That's usually how that works, right? Because the game is in LSU. They don't usually play day games, especially the early day games, but they are this year. What if Arkansas wins? Arkansas hasn't won an SEC game this season, and what if it's against LSU? Like, that'll be kind of crazy. So, another football coach got fired, but this time it's in the NFL. All right, here we go, folks. Oh, yeah. I really thought that Brian Dable would get fired after after last year's season ended, but no. Instead, they fired him. It's kind of weird that they fired him now because there's no way the Giants, they stink. They're not going to the playoffs. So maybe it's better. Might as well wait until the end of the season and then fire him. But I guess the owner just had enough of him. All right, here we go. Week 12. So we got number 2 undefeated Indiana playing against Wisconsin on the Big Ten Network. In my opinion, A&M, Texas A&M should be number 2. I think they're better than Indiana. That's just my opinion. A&M's facing South Carolina. 11 a.m. on ESPN. So we got number 9 Notre Dame at number 22 Pittsburgh, both 7-2 teams, 11 a.m. Central on ABC. It would be cool if Pittsburgh wins, but I think Notre Dame's a better team, so I'll have to go with them. The total 55.5. It might be somewhat of a close game. I'll take the under on that one. How about this one? Number 24, South Florida against Navy. And Navy and South Florida are both 7-2. Interesting. Got a big one. Number 11 Oklahoma at number 4 Alabama. Rematch from last year's. Got to go with Bama. I think the SEC championship, the way it's going right now, I think it's going to be A&M against Bama. But hey, that could change. It might be Georgia against Ole Miss, you know? So I think Bama's going to win that game. Total 45.5. Will it be high scoring? I think it not super high scoring, but I think the total's 45.5. I'll take the over on that one. Wow, we got Georgia Tech 8-1 against 1-9 Boston College. Imagine if Boston College wins that game. All right, 5 Terror. We got your favorite team, Iowa against number 21 Iowa against number 17 USC. These are playoff rankings, right? I think so. Why is this game on the Big Ten Network? That's really strange. Shouldn't this game be on local Fox or FS1 or even CBS? What's the CBS game? Because that's a Big Ten game. Huh. It's not listed. Because this is the top 25 matchups. That's strange. Okay. Probably the biggest matchup on the Big Ten Network. Games in USC. I think they're going to win 47.5. I'll have to take... it's hard to make these predictions. I'll say under. Usually Iowa has a good defense. All right, let's see here. Scrolling down, I'm not going to talk about every single top 25 matchup, just the big games. Number one Ohio State, undefeated, taking on UCLA. They should win that game. That game's that's the primetime NBC game, really. It really should be Iowa against USC. I don't know how they determine which network gets what. You got CBS, the 2:30 Central, and you got the 6:30 Central NBC, And you got some Big Ten games on big noon kickoff on Fox, So we got three networks. I'm pretty sure Fox will be hosting the Big Ten championship. Last year it was on CBS, so they alternate, right? Here we go. This is the biggest matchup, I think. Number 10 Texas 7-2 at number 5 Georgia 8-1. Got to go with the Bulldogs at home, even though they have one loss, which was a home loss against Bama. But I think Georgia is better than Texas, so I will go with them. 50.5. I'll say over on that one. Oh wow! So I forgot there were some games last night. Clemson, unranked Clemson, beat number 20 Louisville by 1 point, 20-19. Clemson's now 5-5. Wow. Clemson's had a strange season. Weren't they in the top 10? Didn't people thought they were gonna one of the favorites to go to the national championship? That's crazy, man. After LSU beat Clemson, LSU was number 3 in the country, and now look at LSU now. Penn State, weren't they number 2 in the country when they faced Oregon? After that, they lost to UCLA, Northwestern. Look at Penn State now. I know, it's kind of crazy. Oh man, Clemson. Can you imagine if they don't win 6 games, meaning they lose their last 2 games? Let's see, Clemson's last 2 games. At home against Furman, they should win that one. And then at South Carolina, that rivalry. So they might be 6-6 or 7-5. Let's take a look at North Carolina's remaining games here. Their record is 4-5. They go to at Wake Forest. They might lose that game. All right, let's say they lose that game. They'll be 4-6. That means they got to win their last 2 games. Second to last game, home against Duke. Okay, it's a home game. Hey, that's a big game in basketball. All right, let's say they win that game, so they'll be what? 5-6, and then their last game is at North Carolina State. I don't think NC State is that good, so they might win 2 out of 3. I mean, they really have to in order for them to get bowl eligible. So the 2 games that I'll be really watching are the ABC games. All right, now to the National Football League. This is very strange here. So we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Buffalo Bills, both 6-3 teams. That's on CBS at noon. Okay. Buffalo has to win this game. It's a home game. If they don't win this game, they're not going to win the division. I think they will win. They got to bounce back. I still couldn't believe they lost to the Miami Dolphins. You know, the game, the game wasn't even close. You know. All right, Houston Texans at the winless Tennessee Titans. Yes, the Titans should still be winless in my opinion. They're 1-8, but they really should be 0-9. All right. So let's say the Titans, they don't win any more games. They lose the rest of their games. Well, instead of them being 1-16, should be 0-17, meaning they'll have a winless season. So if they don't win a game the real way, then they're winless in my opinion. All right? So we're going to find out if they actually win a game or not. They might win this one, who knows? We got another game in Europe. How many more international games do we have going here? This is the most I've ever seen. Like seriously, when's enough? And no, I didn't watch any. I didn't watch any of the international games. Might as well put a team in London. I mean, every year they're in London, right? All right, big game on the AFC North. We got the Cincinnati Bengals at the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think the Steelers have to win this game because the Baltimore Ravens are catching up now that they got Lamar Jackson back. Let's see here. Green Bay Packers at the New York Giants. This is the Giants' first game without Brian Dable. So what if they win? What if they beat the Packers? That'd be kind of crazy. Now, this is a big game. This is actually, I think, the biggest matchup of Week 11. It's Seattle Seahawks at the LA Rams. And this game's at 3:05 Central. Not 3:25 Central. Because CBS gets the 3:25 time slot. I think the Rams are the best team in the NFC and perhaps the best team in the NFL. So I am going to pick the Rams to win this game. If this is a blowout, that is kind of crazy. Because they got that home field advantage. Alright, 5 Tear, your favorite team's taking on the 49ers, taking on the Arizona Cardinals in Arizona. Don't know what to expect in that game. I don't know. Cardinals, they might win this game somehow. Okay, now this is really strange. Why the hell do we have Baltimore Ravens at the Cleveland Browns at 3:25? Why is that a 3:25 time slot? That's not a West Coast game. Well, I think the Ravens are going to win this game because they got Lamar Jackson. Kansas City Chiefs at the Denver Broncos. That is a big matchup in the AFC West. 325. I guess it is a must-win for the Chiefs because they're 5-4. Somehow I think they're gonna win this game. That's my big pick. Kansas City's gonna win in Denver. Now this is so weird. So obviously Jim Nantz and Tony Romo are going to call Chiefs Broncos. But why is Ravens Browns also at 325? That is not a big matchup. The Browns are 2-7. So why isn't Buccaneers Bills game on 325? Why is that? How come that's not a 325 game? That game's on CBS. I guess it's because they don't want to have them at the same time as Chiefs Broncos. Another question. Seahawks Rams. That's the biggest game on Fox. And you think Kevin Burkhardt and Tom Brady would call that game. No. They're actually calling Chicago Bears at the Minnesota Vikings. I mean, that is a pretty big matchup in that division. I guess they don't want to call a game at the same time as the Jim Nantz Tony Romo game. That has to be the reason, right? Instead, Joe Davis is going to call Seahawks and Rams, and I knew he would because I found out that Kevin Burkhardt is calling Bears and Vikings. So when I found that out, okay, does this mean Joe Davis is going to call Seahawks and Rams? He is. So I guess that means he's the number 2 play-by-play man. That's kind of, I guess that makes sense, but it's so weird how this schedule, it's just, yeah, it doesn't make sense, but oh well. At this point, I don't think any of this stuff makes sense. Hey, Sunday Night Football is a big one. We got Detroit Lions at the Philadelphia Eagles. Game's in Philly, so they got that home field advantage. So I'll go with Philly. Oh my gosh. Monday Night Football. This has to be the least exciting Monday Night Football matchup of the season. Because it's the 3-5-1 Dallas Cowboys taking on the 2-7 Vegas Raiders. Why is this the Monday Night Football matchup? I guess they can't flex out Monday night games. And also another question. The Dallas Cowboys, they had a bye last week, but the week before, they were also playing on Monday Night Football. What the hell kind of schedule is this crap? They played Monday Night Football 2 weeks ago. They get a bye, and now they have another Monday Night Football matchup against a crappy Raiders team. What is this? What is this? Wait a minute. Didn't the Raiders already had a home game on Monday Night Football against the LA Chargers? What is this schedule? Why can't we have Buccaneers Bills on Monday Night Football? That would be better. Or why can't we have Seahawks Rams on Monday Night Football? That would be better. I guess I'll watch this game only because the Manning cast are going to be covering that game. That is not an exciting matchup. That is not an exciting matchup. So I guess that means that they can't flex Monday night games. These two teams are not good. You know, the Thursday night game was New York Jets at the New England Patriots. Okay, yeah, the Jets are not that great, but at least this was a division game. Cowboys, Raiders, that's an interconference game. Both not good. I don't get it. That's why sometimes the sports schedule sucks. Yeah. Seahawks Rams at 3:05 on Fox, going up against Chiefs Broncos at 3:25 on CBS. Okay. All right then. So, uh, yeah, I heard that the New England Patriots are the favorite to have the best record in the AFC because they have a pretty easy schedule, a pretty easy remaining schedule, and somehow the Patriots haven't had their bye yet. They haven't had a bye. They're having their bye late. Um, and weren't they began the season 1-2, and they won what, 8 in a row? Yeah, they won 8 in a row. After going 1-2, they won 8 in a row. Now they're 9-2. That's crazy. I guess that somewhat is a big surprise. Um, yeah. So Mike Vrabel, Mike Vrabel has turned things around. I still couldn't believe that the Tennessee Titans got rid of him. When he was the Titans coach, the Titans were much better. Look at the Titans now. They're winless. Yeah, oh no, they have one win. No, they should have lost that game. They're winless. So, all right. Now, the biggest football game this weekend is the 112th Grey Cup. I'm obviously looking forward to this the most. Um, the game's in Winnipeg between the Saskatchewan Roughriders and my favorite team, the Montreal Alouettes. So this will be a big matchup. I will do a live stream of me watching the Grey Cup. Let's see what the weather is going to be. It's going to be cold. It's usually cold at the Grey Cup. Last year they were in Vancouver, but that's indoors, the only indoor venue for football in Canada. It is going to be, I think the kickoff's at what, 5 or 5:30. It's going to be freezing. About 30 degrees or so. It won't be as cold as the game in Saskatchewan, but it'll still be cold. So the Rough Riders are the favorite to win this game, as they should. They're probably going to have more fans. They're probably going to have more fans in the stands because the game is in Winnipeg, closer to Regina than Montreal. So, and I did my research because I thought the Rough Riders are considered the home team because they're playing in a Western Conference stadium, which is the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. So I thought, okay, the Rough Riders, they're going to be designed as the home team, and the Alouettes would be designed as the road team. So I thought, okay, the Rough Riders are going to wear green, Alouettes are going to wear white. No, it's going to be the opposite. Apparently, the Alouettes are the home team, and the Rough Riders are the road team. The reason why is because the next two Grey Cups will also be in Western Conference stadiums. Next year will be in Calgary. The year after will be in Regina. Last year was in Vancouver. So the Grey Cup, 4 consecutive Grey Cups in a Western Conference stadium. So at this point, they're going to alternate no matter what. So last year, the Western Conference team was the home team. This year, it's going to be the Eastern Conference team. So that's why it's like that. In my opinion, this is my opinion, I think the team with the better record should always be the home team. In this case, the Rough Riders should be the home team because they have the better record. You know, it would be kind of cool if the Rough Riders wear green and the Alouettes wear red. I'm like, oh, this will be like a Christmas game, you know? Christmas has come early. Red team against green team. That would be kind of cool. I don't know if that's ever happened where in a championship game where neither teams wore white, their road uniforms. So, yeah, so that's how that is. Should be an exciting matchup for sure. Yeah, this is going to be a big one. I'm looking forward to this. Too bad this game is going up against some big NFL matchups. It's going up against Rams, Seahawks, Chiefs, Broncos, and the first half of the Sunday Night Football game. It is what it is. The thing is, the Grey Cup has always been on an NFL Sunday, so they don't want to ruin that tradition, I guess. But if you want more Americans to watch your product, you're gonna have to have your playoff games and the Grey Cup on a Friday night. Because sometimes not much happens. There's not much going on a Friday night. That's just my opinion. If it's on a Friday night, that works for me. You know? And it's weird because before the NFL season began, CFL would have a Sunday evening game. But then when the NFL began their season, there would be no CFL games on a Sunday until the Grey Cup. Isn't that weird? I don't know. By the way, every year I watch an old Grey Cup. I was gonna do that last night, but I got tired, so I'll do that. I'll do that later today, actually. So, yeah, my tradition. So, which team do I think will win? Will come out victorious? Obviously, I'll be cheering for the Alouettes. Davis Alexander, he will be playing. There were some concerns about his hamstring, but he's ready to go. So that's great. He is entertaining. And he's a young guy, so that's good that they have him. Because earlier in the season, when he was injured, he was out for like 5 weeks in a row. The team was not good at all. The team was not good at all. Yeah, they basically lost 5 in a row. So let's take a look here. I believe didn't these two teams faced each other twice in the regular season? I know they did once. Let's see. Yeah, let's go back to August 2nd. Rough Riders crushed the Alouettes in Montreal, 34-6. And then September the 13th, somehow the Alouettes beat the Rough Riders on the road 48-31. That's crazy. Is that the highest scoring game of the season? That's a 79 combined points. And they meet again about 2 months later. So the Rough Riders, they haven't won a Grey Cup in, what, 12 years or so? Alouettes are looking to win their second Grey Cup in 3 years. Or 2 Grey Cups in 3 years. I think this will be a close game. Let's see, what are their records again? Rough Riders are 12-6, Alouettes are 10-8. You know, both the Eastern and Western Conference final games were close games. They were both close games. So, yeah. So, what is the... If I can look at the point spread here. Oh yeah, they're going to have a 5-hour pregame show. Just like the Super Bowl. And I find the CFL pregame, Grey Cup pregame show more entertaining than the Super Bowl pregame show. I'm wondering if... will they bring back Matt Dunnigan? Yeah, I'm hoping they can bring back Matt Dunnigan as a special guest, because, like, what the heck happened to that guy? You know, he left. Last season was his last. He didn't say, "Hey guys, I'm leaving TSN. Thank you for the wonderful journey." No, he just left. I'm hoping they can bring him back as a special guest, but I don't think that's going to happen. All right, it's going to be at 6 p.m. Eastern, so 5 Central. The halftime show is going to be Machine Gun Kelly. I've heard of him. All right. How do I look at the... Because I'm looking on TSN's website. Actually, no, I think Wikipedia will say... Alright. Okay, so... I'm trying to see... I know Saskatchewan's the favorite, but how many points are they favored by? That's what I'm trying to look. It looked like TSN changed their website. Let me do it on my laptop. I find everything better on the PC laptop than phone. Yeah, they changed their website. What the heck? Why did they change their website? It looks different. Yeah, don't you hate that when, like, your favorite website or app changes and you're like, oh, this doesn't look the same? Okay, here we go. Finally. Finally! They have FanDuel. You can bet on this game if you want to, which I've never done before. I wonder if there's a CFL fantasy draft, like, in the NFL. Let's see. It doesn't say, like, which team is the favorite. Well, I know Saskatchewan's the favorite, but how many points are they favored by? 3, 4, 5? It doesn't say. It doesn't say. How come? Are we waiting until tomorrow or something? Whatever. So my pick, I'm going to pick the Saskatchewan Roughriders. They are the best team. They have the best record. Even though I'll cheer against them. And I think they'll have more fans in the stands, and they haven't won the Grey Cup in 12 years or something like that. So I'm going to pick them to win. I think it'll be a close game, though. So let's enjoy the final Grey Cup with these rules before some of these rules will be changed next season, especially the season after. So, yeah. Alright. Well, that's basically it. My apologies once again for the late upload, late episode. And I'll see you guys. Right? Tomorrow is the day. Oh, man. Yeah. You know what that reminds me of? This just popped in my head because I was thinking about the sports talk podcasts. So Adam Shine, he's an NFL junkie. He had Warren Moon on. Warren Moon, he actually played quarterback for both the NFL and the CFL. He began his career with the CFL for the Edmonton Eskimos, and he actually won 5 consecutive Grey Cups. Yeah, with the Eskimos from the late 70s and early 80s. That's crazy. Then he went on to the NFL. I think he played for the Houston Oilers. But yeah, Adam Shine had Warren Moon on, and they were talking about the NFL games, and they didn't even mention the Grey Cup. Yeah, it's unfortunate that these American podcasts, they don't talk about the CFL, and they also don't talk about the UFL in the spring. I mean, I know the UFL is not a big league, but yeah. Well, at least if you're a fan of both of those leagues like I am, then you get to hear me talk about it. Although I did found I have SiriusXM, and I just searched up CFL, and I found a podcast where they talk about CFL. So that's good. All right. Well, that is it for real. And let's hear that. There we go. Let's hear that. Oops. Here we go. Why isn't it playing the music? It's giving me that encoding overloaded crap. Screw that message. Oh, here we go. I think. Is this the right one? No, we want... I'm picking the wrong audio. I picked the wrong one. That's why it wasn't working. I guess it is. Alright guys, see you tomorrow. Thank you for listening to Keith Sports News.